Yo, what up? I'll be going over the second season of Code Geass Lelouch of the Rebellion R2. So stick around, and I mean stick around because it's a long one. Hope you guys enjoy, alright? So, you know how we do this, the opening song.
世界の終わりで生まれた光今風の中
Alright, so give you a little feedback. There will be no spoilers for Season 2. Only Season 1. So you haven't seen Season 1, don't watch this because it's going to spoil the shit out of it, alright? So as you guys know, Season 1, the Black Knights tried to rebel, fight against Britannia at the end of the season. They didn't go well. Most of them got arrested or some fled to other countries. Our leader Lelouch, the man who brought the Black Knights together in Season 1, was captured by Zusaku in a duel, I guess, and he was taken to in front of the Emperor, and the Emperor, we find out, has Geass as well. His ability is to rewrite people's memories. So he rewrites Lelouch's memories, and we get Lelouch like he was in Season 1. They didn't know anything until he meets C2 again, and his memories get unlocked. And not to mention other things have changed. Not only, as you know, had been kidnapped in the Season 1, so she's not here. We don't know where she's at. Ogi got shot. Fucking, like I said, shit goes down at the end of Season 1. And most of the characters return in Season 2. Of course, some died in Season 1. So going into it, Lelouch, of course, gets his memories back as soon as he meets back with his collaborator C2, the person who gave him his powers. And he decides to continue with his plan to take down the Britannian Empire. Zusaku, who turned him in, has been granted Knight of 7, basically Knight of the Realm. There are 12 members, and Zusaku's number 7. In this season, we will get to see a lot of the Chinese Federation. We did not get to see many of them in Season 1 or the EU. We learned that in the year that has passed from Season 1, I forgot to say that, Prince Nigel has taken half of the EU under his control, meaning that we won't see much of the EU. Of course, there's other things you can look up. I think there's another alternate timeline that involves the EU. Go ahead and have fun with that. I have not read anything of mangas. I will read them now. The mangas, as you guys know, this was an anime first and a manga. The manga contained alternate timelines, so I will check those out. So, starting off with Season 2, I'll be honest with you, it's felt like Season 1 in many ways. So, be prepared for that, but I'm not saying anything beyond that, but it was better than Season 1. So, you know how I do, I'm going to go through all the characters, and let me tell you, there's a lot of characters, even some I missed. So forgive me, and let's start this off with our main character, of course, Lelouch v Britannia, or Lelouch Lamperouge, if you guys know. Like I said, in Season 1, he gained the power of Geass, power to give absolute orders to anyone. He started his Black Knights, aka Zero, he calls himself. As you guys saw in Season 1, he's very tactful. He's a very good tactic-oriented person. Knows how to maneuver any element that he controls very well. Sees everyone as pawns. The only person he cares about in the world is Nanali, who he wants to change the world for her, a much better world or whatever. In this season, though, we see him change a lot from Season 1. Many things contribute to that change. You see his personality slip. We see him even goes down to like almost use some kind of drug. Of course, you guys know his power has been out of control since Season 1, but he seems to gain a little bit more control of it. In Season 1, he was able to use his power at will. Now it's manifests themselves as always. You can see it in his eye. He has to wear a contact lens to be able to hide himself from school. Also, like I said, he's people know that he was Zero in Season 1, and the king put this kind of secret corpse, the ISO, to watch him in school and everything until the day he does regain his memories, and then he's supposed to kill him. In this season, Lelouch brings back everything in a great way. I don't know how he thinks about all this shit. In this one, he pilots a new kind of nightmare frame that has the most powerful shield, apparently, and a very powerful main weapon. It takes a brilliant mind to pilot it, alright? Next character is Uzaku Kurugi. As you guys know, he was Lelouch's best friend since they were little. He is now the Knight of 7. Like I said, he got promoted after turning Lelouch in. He is now called the White Death. That's what I heard in the show. I don't know if it's a real thing. He still pilots a Lancelot, and in this show we don't see him until episode 2 really, when he decides to go back to Ashford Academy, sensing that Lelouch might have regained his memories. As you guys know, in season 1 he was Euphemia's knight, and seeing Euphemia kill her 11s and her Lelouch killing her, he has a strong hatred towards Lelouch. His character's changed a lot since season 1. Season 1 he was a lot happier, somewhat, and this season he just wants straight up revenge, and you get to see that firsthand. He still pilots, like I said, the Lancelot unit. Of course, it's changed over the year, I guess. You can see here the basic models. The last one being the one on the far right. The more advanced one, I think it was called the Lancelot Albion. Great fighting machine. Can't wait till you guys see that shit in action, alright? Of course, C2 comes back in the show. She's the one that brings Lelouch's memories flooding back through a kiss. As you guys know, in season 1, she's the one that gave him his powers. She, of course, is another character that's changed a lot. So the way she was in season 1 and the way she is now in season 2. We kind of see her bond with Lelouch growing. She still has a lot of secrets she does not reveal to Lelouch until later in season 2. All the questions are answered. She still eats Pizza Hut, so be ready for that. And we also find out at the end of season 1 that the person she was talking to in those scenes was later Marion. Marion being Lelouch's mother. So there's something there. You will see her a lot in this season, so be ready for that, and among other things, the Geass Order. We see here Colin Statfield. Actually, my bad. It should be Colin Kozuki now in this season. She refers to herself as a Japanese name. At the end of season 1, she leaves Lelouch to his fate. We don't know why, but in the beginning of season 2, she's there to rescue him in a bunny outfit. Again, Colin is a force to be reckoned with, piloting the Guren MK2. Of course, has been upgraded a lot extensively. She's still not trust Zero 100%, but knows his secret among other people. So she's now in his inner circle along with C2. She seems to have feelings towards him. We don't know if they're romantic or not. So that's something to look over. And again, I said she pilots the Guren again, Mark II, her favorite machine. And to be honest, it is my favorite nightmare from the show as well. Powerful enough to take down many foes. And even with its upgraded form, it's a fucking beast to be reckoned with. So be ready for that in fucking season 2. Of course, not only being Lelouch's sister, she was kidnapped at the end of season 1. We don't know her fate. She does come back in season 2, but I will not give anything away that will, spoil shit for you guys. Just wait, and trust me, it's worth the wait. Of course, we get a new character named Rollo. He also has Geass powers. His power is time manipulation. He can only manipulate people's time, perception of time, not time itself. So anything moving will still move. It takes the place of Nanali in Lelouch's memories. He is now his brother. He is very cold, callous, and kills anyone without mercy. That includes Lelouch if he regains his memories. He does pilot a badass nightmare frame called the Vincent Prototype. Basically a mass-produced model of the Lancelot unit. Very handy in battle. So, yeah. Of course, we get Millie Ashford, the fucking president of Ashford Academy. She seems to change a lot in this season. A lot of people questioning her character, and she actually changes a lot. Even one episode, one of my favorite ones for season 2, is when she finally decides to grow up. So be ready for that. My man Rivals comes back out, but of course, just like in season 1, he doesn't really have a big part, but he still has a major crush on the president. So that's all you get from him, really. Not much from season 2. Shirley Finette. Now here's a character who has a lot to play in season 2. Season 1, of course, she found out Lelouch's secret. He is Zero. She, of course, confronts him about this. Lelouch decides the best thing to do is to erase her memories and everything she'd known about Lelouch. Of course, she does forget, but we find out in season 2 she's falling in love again with Lelouch, despite not having these memories. So that tells you something right there. No matter how many times he erases her memory, she always falls in love with him. So she's a great character. Very sad what happens. That's it. Anyway, we get Valletta New of Britannia. And of course, you know Valletta. She was a pilot in season 1. She knew Zero's identity, got hurt, got amnesia. Ogi took care of her. Well, now in season 2, she's head of the OSI or ISO, whatever it's called. And she watches Zero being his teacher in school. She's a PE teacher. And let me tell you, she could fill out a bathing suit. Hell yeah. But she also has a big part in season 2, especially her lingering feelings towards Ogi, who she did fall in love with in season 1. So, be ready for that crap. Then we have Toto, the fucking Black Knight fucking awesomeness of holy fucking knights of Jap. I can't even speak, but he's a holy four swords or something like that. He comes back. He becomes on his own, leading most of the forces while Lelouch is at school. Of course, one of his four holy swords, Kotse Urabek, does come out in episode 1. He, of course, does know Lelouch's secret identity. No other holy four swords know anything, not even Toto. He's there to fucking rescue Zero. I do not know how he found out. Maybe you find out somewhere else. I do not know. We have Nagisa Chiba, the female of the four holy swords. In this season, we find out something interesting. She seems to have feelings for Toto. Of course, she was arrested with Toto. Her feelings she could have got those feelings in prison or before that. We do not know. But in this season, she really wants to tell him. Then we have Shogo Ashina. He actually does not trust Zero since of what happened in season 1 when Zero left all the forces behind when he went to go chase the fool at the island. Of course, that does follow him throughout the season 2, and you'll see that, especially towards the end. And we have Royal Semba, another Four Holy Swords member, also arrested in season 1. You get to see him battle in season 2. He's badass, man, but another sad figure here. Not giving anything away, but he won't last the night. And yeah, these are basic. They're nightmare frames. Toto has a big black one. Of course, the newer season 2, so I can get a picture. They all been upgraded, especially with more heavily defenses to fight the Knights of the Round. And of course, Ogi comes back. As you guys know, in season 1, he was shot by the woman he loves. Though in season 2, he's back. Not a big part like he had in season 1, but he's still there. He's still doing his thing, being a normal guy, trying to help any way he can. My Tamaki actually has a bigger role than fucking Ogi. He's back, and he even says he's fucking Lelouch's best friend. This was tight. I hang out with him, but I will not take this fool into battle. That's for damn sure. Especially since shit happens. Sayako, oh, he's a new character. No, not new. She came out in season 1, but she has a more important part in season 2. She knows Lelouch's secret identity. She works for him. She even stands in as a double for him while he's away in school, so no one gets suspicious, especially in Britannia. She is an incredible athlete, ninja fighter, so be scared of her when you fight her one-on-one, alright? And of course, we have a character I did not mention in season 1, but she did come out in like an episode towards the end. Kaguya Sumeragi. She is Suzaku's cousin, head of a household in Kyoto, supports the Black Knights since their first debut. She, of course, is in love with Zero, says he's her husband, and agrees to a harem, basically. She is very wise, though, for her age. And, of course, Rakshata comes back, basically a brilliant person who developed the Guren MK2, among other things. She, of course, fled at the end of season 1 when they lost the battle to the Chinese Federation, where she stayed there developing her toys. She does come out in season 2, but it's not as a big role like in season 1. But she's still there looking hot as fuck, so be ready for that shit. God damn. Anyways, my man D-Tard comes back, D-Tard Reed. He also fled along with Rakshata to the Chinese Federation. He's still there doing his thing like in season 1. Zero has mentioned that it's good to have a man like him easily read and know every move he's about to do. It's important right there, alright? We have a new character, Ayame Futaba. Of course, I'm not sure is a new character. I believe she was Shirley's roommate. As I did not state earlier, every student in Ashford Academy left. So everyone that's back in school is a new student and new faculty. So I'm guessing she left as well and joined the Black Knights. Kind of looks like her from season 1. Again, I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that shit. And we have Ling Shike, Chinese Federation officer. Ling Shike comes out in season 2. We did see clips of him in season 1. And season 2 is a badass swordsman. Supports the Black Knights in the beginning just to help him get closer to the Empress, the person who he made a promise to. He is a brilliant swordsman and brilliant tactician, actually said to rival Lelouch and Suzaku in those departments. Of course, he does have a fault. He does not have enough time to live. He pilots this fucking badass machine here. I forget the name. Hey man, this machine is top notch, alright? And here's the Empress, Tianzi. I'm not going to say her full name because I'm going to fuck it up. She's a young empress from China. She, of course, wants to see the outside world. We see her in season 2 about to get married to the fucking Prince of Britannia. Not going to say which one. It's a surprise. And here's the other Chinese Federation soldiers along with Shinke and the Empress. Do not know their names, so I could not get pictures, but they're here in the background. You see them throughout season 2. Do not know why no one said their names. We have here the eunuchs. These assholes that try to fucking use the Empress as a puppet. Don't worry. Shit. Karma. That's all I'm going to say. Of course, Schneisel comes out, the second Prince of Britannia. You guys saw him in season 1. This man has his own agenda. Of course, he never admits this, using people as he does. But in season 1, he used most of I don't know. He just seems shady to me, but he's an interesting character. He's basically like Lelouch's anti-Lelouch. As brilliant as Lelouch, he has stated that the only man he ever feared was Lelouch and admired, and I think it works both ways. Schneisel has a bigger part in season 2. You see him trying to maneuver around, and he has conquered half of the EU starting season 2, so he's a force to be reckoned with. V2 also came out in season 1. We find out he's Charles' twin brother. Immortal Like C2 gave Charles his Geass, among other people. He is Lelouch's uncle, head of the Geass research department set up by Charles and himself. We find out a lot of things about this guy. I'm not going to say all of them because there'll be big spoilers. But basically, he and Charles have a pact. And of course, I'm speaking of Charles E. Britannia, the Emperor of Britannia himself. Find out that he has a Geass that controls and manipulates people's minds. That's how some things get hidden away, I guess. He does have a bigger part in season 2, actually confronting Lelouch many of times, so be ready for that. And like I said, his Geass has advanced though over the years, so it's spread over both his eyes. Apparently could have started at one eye or the other. We don't know, it depends on the user. Oh, and here's some Knights of the Round Table, or Knights of whatever. We have Gino Weinberg, Knight of 3, cocky young man from a rich, noble family. He pilots like crazy though, fools around. He even has a thing for Colin, seeing how she's very powerful and on par with Knights of the Round. Of course, he does come out a lot in the second season. He becomes quick friends with Suzaku when Suzaku joins, since they're around the same age. I believe he's 17. And he pilots a fucking powerful machine that's versatile as the plane and the fucking night frame, called the Tristan. So be ready for that shit coming in. What is this, Robotech? I do not know. We have Anya Alstrom, Knight of 6. Anya is the youngest knight ever to be knighted. She pilots a giant ass fucking night frame that could tear up shit up. And you see her cold, kind of antisocial, but she's not really. It's just that she's wary of her memories. She carries around a diary. She takes pictures of everything. Just because when she was younger, she has stated that when she was young, she kept a diary, but nothing from that diary she remembers jotting down. Meaning, someone has messed with the memories. Do not know what happened, because I'm not going to spoil it. But like I said, she's an awesome pilot, very cold, and she uses a Mordred. Giant machine that uses a fucking Hellblast cannon or something. So be ready to see that in the show. And of course we have the Knight of 1, Bismarck Wildstein. best friend of the Emperor, #1 knight, has his own fucking badass army, his own fucking badass knight frame, and he's very devoted and loyal to the Britannian Emperor. He has, of course, a secret underneath his left eye, and you guys can guess it, right? Of course, he does pilot the Galahad, and with the giant sword given to him by the Emperor called Excalibur, able to fucking deflect almost any projectile sent his way. So be ready for that crap. Another pilot of the Knight Round Table, whatever, is the Knight of Four, Dorothy Ernst. We only see her in the, like I want to say, 10 seconds. Wish she was in the show more. She is a powerful pilot set to rival Bismarck in fucking bravery or whatever you call it. Like I said, I wish she was in the show more. I can't really say much about her because she doesn't come out as much. And then we have Lucille Bradley, Knight of 10, Vampire of Britannia. Now this guy we get to see a lot, and we get to see why most of the Knights of the Round hate him. He's a cold, callous man, does not care about anyone other than himself in battle. We even see him try to use a ship to take down another ship just because they got beat up a little bit. So be expecting that guy. He of course pilots the Percival, and he has his own personal army called the Valkyrie Squadron. Now I know they didn't really come out a lot, but they have a lot of history though. Here we have Marika Sorsky and Liana Vegamon. I included these two because they were supposed to be originally in season 1, but they were pushed back. They were supposed to be Cornelia's guard, but now they're in the Valkyrie squad. You know, Sorsky is actually the sister of one of the knights that died in season 1. If you don't know which one, watch season 1. We have Monica Krusky, Knight of 12, a very timid woman. We get to see her aboard the flagship of the Emperor. We don't really get to see much of her. Kind of wish she was in there more too as well. But didn't really get to see her fighting ability as much. So that's kind of a letdown. And then we have here Nanette and Graham, Knight of 9. Powerful knight. Went to school with Cornelia. She is now considered Cornelia's teacher apparently. Cornelia is very afraid of this woman basically. We don't get to see her much in season 2 at all, kind of. I included her because she comes out in this picture right here, and so I assume she did come on season 2, but I did not see her much. So here are the knights again that would come out, except -1. We do find out that there are only 8 knights, and apparently that's explained in the books. But that, I don't know, I guess they made the books and then they made the show, which makes sense. So that explains why there's only 8 seats posted and why Zaku's named Knight of 7, and there's some slots missing. So let's continue on from that. And of course you have Marianne, Lelouch's mom and Annalise. She was Empress of Britannia, and of course you find out that she was a former Knight of 6. I'm including her in here for a reason. I know she's been dead, so bear with it. And then we have Odysseus u Britannia, the first prince of Britannia. You get to see him. He's not Snizel basically. He's definitely not going to be emperor, so that sucks for him. Also, we do get to see more of the royal family. We have Guinevere de Britannia, first princess of Britannia. We get to see her. She seems to be like a bitch, so be ready for that. I don't know what else to say about her. And then we also have Carina Le Britannia. She seems to have a psychopathic mindset to her, being more of a sadist. So, but again, we don't get to see them a lot in the show in season 2. Returning character though is Lloyd Asplund, Earl of Britannia. As you guys know, he is the designer and creator of the Lancelot unit. He is very, I guess, scientific, caring more about work than people, and that will still carry on from season 1 over to season 2. And we get to see his assistant again, the lovely Cecile Crumey. In season 1 you see her pilot a nightmare frame on par with most of great pilots, and she defends a school. In season 2 we get to see her not as much as season 1 since Suzaku's on his own, but hey, she's still there. Nina Einstein, a character from season 1, went to school with the Lucian gang. We did see her in season 1 make a homemade explosive device, like an atom bomb but less explosive-y. She of course don't know what happened to her. We find out that she was actually captured by Snizel and put to work for him voluntarily. She's still a little bit pissed off at Zero for killing Euphemia, but she still works on her projects and she develops a very dangerous weapon towards the end of season 2. We do see the scene where she confronts Millie at a party and tells Millie the whole truth about her, that she's fake, and that's what changes Millie in the long run. We get to see a new character named Conan Maldini. He's an advisor to Snizel, among other things. He jokes around with Millie Ashford, saying that he pleases Snizel in many ways, publicly and privately. So you know what that means. But he says jokingly, but then he jokes again about it. So we get to see Gilbert G.P. Guilford again. He came out in season 1, as you guys know. He's Cornelias Knight. In season 2, he's still stationed at Area 11. Does not know where Cornelia went. Cornelia did not take him with her wherever she went. So he's still there in Area 11, doing the best, trying to uphold law for Cornelia, along with the Glasston Knights. He protects Area 11. You see that the whole time. He's literally a badass knight. And like I said, we don't know what happened to Cornelia after season 1. I presume either she's somewhere in the Britannian homeworld, or homeland, or somewhere else recovering, since she was gravely wounded in season 1. Of course, we do find out later where she is and what she's doing. She does not use night frames in this season too much, but she does get down with other shit when she does return. There's still some questions like why was she gone for a year that have not been answered, so be ready for that and don't get really pissed off when you see her. We do learn more about her though. She was Lady Marianne's not knight, but head of her security in season 1. We find out that she was it, so she knows what happened. That's the whole point why Zero was trying to capture her in season 1. Of course, we find out she knows nothing about it. She was called away that night, and we do know that she still carries torch for her sister, trying to clear her name, saying it was all Geass's fault. And like I said, the Glasston Knights are back. I actually figured out their names. Sorry I did not know them in season 1. The guy's name is David, Bart, Alfred, Claudio, and Edgar. Those are their actual names, actual person, as you go see right there. The Glasston Knights were actually successful in blocking the Black Knights in season 1 in the first Black Rebellion. Their nightmare frames are totally customizable, shooting rockets, lances, and whatever they can. Of course, they are the adopted sons of Dalton. As you guys know, Dalton was killed in season 1, so they tried to avenge his death in season 2, saying it all the time, father this, father that. So be ready to hear a bunch of that shit in season 2, alright? Another new character we get is Alicia Lohmeyer. She comes out in season 2, advisor to a new Viceroy of Area 11. Not going to say who, because that's a big surprise. She's basically there to use the Viceroy to any means to push her agenda, and she's very anti-11. So she's there for a reason. And then we have the Calaris, the Viceroy of Area 11. He took ownership of Area 11 when Cornelia died. He seems to be a very hot-tempered guy, not caring much about the 11s, so not very much has changed. We get to see Bartley Asperus. He was the general in charge of Clovis's battalions and shit in season 1, of course with his secret mission to replicate Geass as well. He does have a major hand in it, and he even upgraded Jeremiah in season 1. You saw he made him into a fucking cyborg, and in season 2 he continues to do that. And that leads to our next character here, Jeremiah Gottwell, who has now completely been cured of his craziness. Doesn't let the word orange get to him. He's actually more cyborg than man now, I believe. Able to cancel out Geass powers, so he could cancel out anything implanted at anyone. We do find out a lot though that he actually cares for Lady Marianne a lot. So into that, here are some of the night frames you will see typically in season 2. They all have floating systems now, so that most of the fighting will be in the air. This will be some ground fighting, but not much. I would like to say though, like I said earlier, season 2 is just like season 1 with minor changes. So be expecting that for those people that don't like shit like that. I will say that the soundtrack went down. I did not hear any badass soundtracks throughout the show like I did in season 1. You know, those little soundtracks you hear in some moments. The music kind of died down in season 2. Not much, but yeah, it kind of does. Not the fighting music, but whatever. like I said, this one takes right after a year has passed in season 1. Many of the characters come back to reprise their roles. That's great. The animation did not lose its awesomeness, and if anything, got better. The battles between the nightmare frames got intense. They're getting intense. The story gets fucking insane with so many characters' personalities changing from season 1. Wow. I will say though that they did not have to do what they did. When one scene it made me cry, but it made the show that much better. So that's why I'm gonna have to give this shit a 10 out of 10. Full fucking blast, good score, great show. It amped up from season 1. Hell yeah, I remember seeing this shit in high school and now seeing it again. It still does the same thing. Hey man, go and watch this. So hey, thanks for watching. Hit that like, hit that sub. I'll catch you all next time.